Hiya, this is Wiccan 1113, and today I'm going to talk to you about my religion, Wicca, and this is more of an update, why I haven't done a few videos and so on and so forth. So, basically, um, over the past couple of years, over the past year especially, I've been studying college, vice versa, but I've also been going into college, going into Wicca a lot more, finding more about it, reading books, films, get you more inspired, so on and so forth. So I thought I'd tell you some of my knowledge of what I know for the people that don't know nothing about it. Um, and the difference between Wicca itself and real witchcraft, like just witchcraft on its own and Wicca as a religion, should I say. So Wicca is a nature-based religion, and it revolves around the changing of the seasons, the god and the goddess, not necessarily always the god, depending on how you like to practice it. Um, one of the basically stereotypical witch, Wiccan, Halloween, gonna do some voodoo. Bleh. That's not necessarily true. It's the day where the veil between the worlds, the spirit world and the human world, is very thin. So it's not necessarily easier, but I'll say it is, but it's not necessarily. It's thinner, so it's easier to contact or get all spirits to come through. So that's why we dress up, so on and so forth, because it's just to celebrate that. In the Christian religion, they have All Saints' Day, which is it's either on the 31st or the day after or the day before. I could be wrong. I'm not a Christian in any way, so I don't know exactly. But that's basically the same thing, except it isn't all spirits in general, it's family members. Um, there is lots of Christianity that is very similar to Wicca. Um, it's good to comparison to that because I know that a lot of Christians do like to find about Wicca and stuff. We do not worship the devil. To be precise, I do not believe in the devil. The story of the devil came along, right, so I'm from England, the UK, and I don't know the exact date, so I'm not going to tell you dates. Years and years and years ago, right, um, England itself and Britain was all pagan slash druids. Along came the Romans and Christianity and so on and so forth, and they had to manipulate their religion to our needs so that we would become Christians. So, such as All Saints' Day, such as Christmas, such as, because we had those, but they were just different names and slightly different meanings. And that's how Christianity and Wicca sort of, not Wicca, because Wicca's quite a new religion, but that sort of concept became one. So they are very similar, yet so different. A spell isn't always candles and stereotypical voodoo dolls. Sometimes a spell could be just saying a prayer. You use, I'm going to say Christianity uses incense and things, especially Catholic sort of Christianity, sort of things. I've been to a few christenings and things, and you like to use incense in mass and things. I'm not sure, I don't really know much about it. But we use incense, and I'm sure that the incense is probably used to help send your prayers up to God maybe or something. Well, ours does that as well, and it's also the representation of air, which leads me on to the pentagram, the five-pointed star, not six, five-pointed star. It's a joint that goes up, up, down, across. I can't actually try and draw it, but just have a Google, pentagram, pentacle, whatever. Each point represents an element: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. They're the five elements. The circle around it sort of conjoins them all. In my opinion, this is how I just like to read things. You can't have spirit without earth, air, fire, and water. To me, those four make spirit. But that's just how, in my head, how I like to see it. Because spirit's water, yet it also is fire. Yes, it's also most definitely air. And yet it's got the earth in it. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I like to see things. So, and I always put spirits at the top of the pentacle, and then it's earth, air, fire, and water. But to you, it's opposite on the camera, isn't it? So just sit there. Earth, air, fire, water, spirit. They're the five sort of points. And I use that as my religious symbol. It's what I use to protect me, and it's what I believe in. Crystals, so on and so forth, good things to catch energy, so on and so forth. We use them for protection. Some people use them for calming. I know people that are Christian and things that would have crystals just in general because they think they're pretty. It's up to you. You don't need to use them for anything what I'd use them for necessarily. Um, um, that's just some in general of what it is. We wear black clothes because black absorbs energy like black absorbs heat. To us, that's energy. White reflects it, so on and so forth. The story of the devil, as I was saying, came along where once the Christians come along, we had a god. Do you know, his name is not in my head at the moment, I do know it. But one of the gods that we had horns, and he looked a bit like the stereotypical devil as we know him. And the Christians created this evil form, Satan, devil, Lucifer, and he looked like our God. So that's how the story of us sort of worshipping the devil came along. Now, any facts that I'm saying, what I found out, could be right to me, but I could be completely wrong. Someone else might have better facts or something. So this is just what I know, and I'm just telling you what I sort of know. Just trying to give you a bit of a backstory. The story of how witches could fly on broomsticks. Pagans used to do a ritual in the spring, where they dance around crops with a broom and a witch's hat, stereotypical conical hat, and they used to say, "Grow for me, grow as tall as this broom," and they bopped up and down and jumped and singed and danced. And if the Christians casually walked past, they saw jumping of a broom and things and thought, "They're flying." The story of the broom come along. The conical hat, along. Everyone had witches' hat sort of things in fashion at one point. Along came the flat top sort of hats. Christians were a bit more rich, should I say, at the time, and they seemed to move up with fashion. Pagans kept with it. They also liked the design. The circle captures the energy around them, and the conical then points it up towards the gods. And it's black, but any colour really. I just like to use black because it also helps absorb the energy. So that's some of the basics I know about Wicca and witchcraft. Now, the difference between Wicca and witchcraft is, I've sort of talked about it in a video, but I'll sort of update it a bit. This is one hand, this is another. They look near enough exactly the same, but no hand is exactly the same. They're very similar, but so different. How do I describe it? Basically, spells and magic. Wicca talk to the gods, ask the gods for powers to support them through money problems, or they'll just worship the gods. There is someone and something to worship. In witchcraft, necessarily, you could just be asking to call upon the guardians of the elements, so the guardian of earth, come forward and help me in this spell. Witchcraft is more of a craft. Wicca is a religion. It's proven by the US government. It is a founded religion. I haven't actually looked about the British, but I've read in about the US government. It is a recognised religion. I'm guessing it'll be a recognised religion here in Britain as well, because Britain is everything. It's free to do what you wish. So yeah. That's basically just some of the differences. Witchcraft, we use wands to help as an extension of our hands, to help direct energy. Some people don't use wands, some people use athame, which is a knife. I personally just don't like using an athame. It's too non-natural for me. Just personal opinions. Book of Shadows. Book of Shadows, we write all our thoughts, feelings, spells, and all that into it. All our learning. I'm going to do an updated version of my Book of Shadows soon. It's getting quite big. I'm quite proud of it. So hopefully you'll see that soon. Now, any questions or queries? I don't really want arguments, and if I've said anything wrong, I'm sorry. Just comment below, and you can learn me. We learn each other, because that's what it is. It's a community to help each other. So yeah, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.